This episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our family of podcasts, head over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia or search for us on the Patreon app on your smart device. Thanks for helping us build something better. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrick, and alongside me, as always, is the PC snacking race, LeRon Dawkins.
What's poppin'? How's it going?
What are you eating, LeRon?
I don't know if I want to show it to you because I might get made fun of.
It's fine. We're gonna make fun of you anyway, so.
I'm eating Fritos corn chips, and before that, it was
Fritos?
it was Cheetos.
What's wrong with that?
That's just a normal
Yeah.
snack. That wasn't exciting.
It's
That's
one
all.
thing if you're like, I'm munching on dried
there's-
fish or something. I don't know.
I mean,
You know, dried fish is delicious. If it's
It is
seasoned
delicious, but
correctly.
I'm just saying, like, if you're just talking about like a randomness of a snack, I'm like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, and there's a giant bag of sour Haribo
oh, there
gummy
you go.
bears
That's
somewhere
very
around here too.
LeRon.
yes, that's more LeRon's speed. Also joining us is the Mad Pharmacist herself, Stephanie.
Here I
Cleveland.
am.
Hello.
There you are.
How's it going?
It's okay.
It was a great day, right? a great
Running
day.
on fumes. Yeah.
Mm,
Doing fine.
mm,
It's fine.
Me too.
I'll take
I
a
hear
page
ya.
out of your book, Corey. It's fine. It's all fine.
It is fine. It's all fine. Speaking of fine, we have a great guest tonight. She is a retro streamer and a Twitch ambassador. Joining us tonight is AshSa. Hi, Ash. Welcome to the show.
Hi everyone. How's it going?
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you for wanting
know-
to join us. Like, you must not have watched any of the podcast before this episode.
Don't scare
Yeah,
away,
clearly not.
Ron.
Mm. I'm glad I invited you on before I saw your Kirby chair, because Kirby is a running joke in this area.
Running
Uh,
joke for you.
Yeah, well,
Should I ask why?
no, it's just because Kirby is everywhere. So okay,
why
earlier,
is Kirby getting like
No.
17 trillion games in 2022?
yeah, so that was the joke in the group chat today, where we were like, Kirby, the new Kirby Return of the Dreamland Deluxe, which, to be fair, is actually a pretty decent platformer for the Wii. It's coming out for Switch in a couple days, and it's getting a lot of great reviews. And in the Twitch chat, people, or in the Twitter chat with everybody, they were like, "Oh man, look, all these great reviews Kirby's getting." Surprised, and I was like, "Yay! This means we're getting like 12 more Kirby games this year."
Where's the lie? Where is the lie?
Yeah, what did I say exactly? I said,
Well, while he's looking that up, I mean, it is kind of interesting because though there's certain Nintendo IP where we'll just see an explosion of games within like a 12-month time span. Yet there's some franchises that they just won't
Mhm.
touch, no matter how much
Mhm.
money we're willing to throw at them. They just won't, no touchy.
mhm.
Like, I'm still in a state of shock that we got the
Yes.
Metroid Prime remaster. I'm still
That's a
still
step in
reeling.
the right direction for Metroid.
Yes, for real. Yeah.
There's a cat on the podcast. Oh no,
Kitty!
Stephanie's getting her
Yes.
cat now too.
Hi, kitty.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
my kitty heard me
Bobby.
talk about a kitty. Now my kitty's gonna join. Come on, Paxel. Yes, you're a good girl.
My cat's under the desk over
Oh, this
there.
is
She
Paxel.
won't let me pick her up.
Oh, there's a sweet. Oh,
Look at them eyes. Oh my god.
I love it. Yeah, I think whenever I turn these lights on for the camera and Bobby sees me sitting here, it's like she knows something's up, so she's got to be a part
Yeah,
of
that a girl.
that.
Yeah, cats. They know.
See, they are the best,
They-
Corey.
they know. So
So Ash.
Yeah.
I just need to know what is the deal with being a Twitch ambassador? The reason why I'm asking this is because like when I started my whole like content creation journey, like I was going all in on Twitch, and now I'm kind of more of a YouTube person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your question is, what is it like being a Twitch ambassador, or what does it mean to encompass being a Twitch ambassador? Is that your question?
How about both? How about
Okay.
both?
So, I mean, I definitely get that question a lot. I think that, there's opportunity for more explanation of what a Twitch ambassador is, but I think a Twitch ambassador is basically somebody who they consider bleeds purple, and what that means is they're proud to be on Twitch. They're also a good Twitch role model, and they create communities that kind of set the standard as to what a good broadcaster on Twitch, how they would conduct their broadcast. So are their communities welcoming? Do they try to make a change in the space that they're in? Do they do charity work? Do they make it a place where people can learn from them? And are they representing the brand in a way that will make people feel like, okay, Twitch is the place where I want to be a content creator? And I think a lot of Twitch ambassadors encompass all of those things. And if you go to the team page, you can kind of get a broad overview of, everything that I kind of just said. That's like basically the general definition. But I think for me, what it is, especially being somebody who focuses on retro classic games, indie games and things like that, I want to make sure that the people who are in the retro community, like anytime anybody, well, and it goes for any creator that comes to me and asks, like, how do I get started on Twitch? What does it mean to be a good broadcaster on Twitch? I'm always happy and have my door open to anybody that needs help. That's a really important facet of what I do, to me. Like if somebody comes and says, hey, Ash, what do you think about ads? What do you think about running ads? What do you think about, like playing certain games on Twitch? How do you think I should conduct myself? Like, and then in a kind of like holistic way too, like anything that has to do with broadcasting on Twitch, I'm so happy to help anyone else learn. So that to me is what I consider being a Twitch ambassador. But mostly it's like, bleed purple. You'll see us on the marketing, a lot of social media and stuff. So I think that's what it is.
Well, that's cool, and I'm so jealous you're in the Capcom Creator Program. I'm jealous because as many hours I sink into Monster Hunter that I'd never stream, I feel like I should be in
Maybe
that
you
creator's
should stream
guild.
Monster Hunter. Maybe you should stream Monster Hunter. Maybe you'll get that.
Yeah, I think that if you apply, like I've known people that have applied, not gotten in, and then applied again, and then got eventually got in. And I think that if you make it like hyper obvious that you really love Monster Hunter, Mega Man, Breath of Fire, like all of the main Capcom IP, Resident Evil, all that kind of stuff, you've got a great chance of getting in.
Cool. Good to know. Good. There's hope for me yet.
Yeah, of course.
Slim.
Well, thank you for answering my questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Like I think to me, I try not to let anything limit anything that I'm doing. So I'm never the one to tell me no. I've got to let other people tell me no. I apply to stuff. If I don't get in, okay, so I try again in maybe 6 months to a year or whatever the necessary time is to wait. Like anytime that there's an obstacle in my way, it's not like failure is not something to be sad about or unhappy about. Like it's just it's another step on the road to wherever we need to get to go to do what we need
Love
to do.
Love that attitude. Love it.
Awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
More kitty.
Yeah.
No, she likes to jump on my desk and knock things down, so I gotta put her in the direction where she won't do that.
So another question, actually.
Sure.
Why retro games? Why was that just like the niche you chose because it wasn't happening a lot, or are you really into classic video games?
So since the day I started broadcasting, I am me, like I am who I am on Twitch, whether you knew me as a broadcaster, you just know me as a regular person. And throughout my whole life, video games have been a part of everything that I've done. I've worked in the gaming industry. My parents played video games like all throughout my life. In fact, my mom, she just bought a PS5 and she was like, when are you going to buy Elden
That's
Ring. When are
awesome.
you gonna get a PS5? Like she was like, I just walked into Target and picked up a PS5. When are you gonna get yours? I was like, oh my god, mom, I don't got PS5 money. But anyhow, so I have a lot of memories growing up and playing games with my parents. You know, like I played, you know, Amiga. I have my father's Amiga 500 behind me. You know, I have memories of him playing Dungeon Master and Eye of the Beholder and, you know, Awesome and Shadows of the Beast and all those things together, and PlayStation 1 games. Like I'll never forget the time that me and my dad played Resident Evil and we both got jump scared by the dog breaking through the glass in
Oh
the
my
beginning of the
gosh.
game.
Everybody got jump scared by that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But the first time it ever happened to you, you're like, oh my god, you know. But it's games have been with me my whole life. So as a part of what I do on Twitch, I feel like I share all of the best parts of me when I share all of the experiences I've had throughout my life. So being that I've collected video games all my life and, you know, played with my parents and, you know, everything around me it was about games. Like I have a big backlog of games, of course, from all the things that I've collected, as you can see. So when I first started broadcasting, I didn't know where I wanted to go. So I think like the first game I played was like Breath of the Wild and Tetris. And I was like, I liked it, but I was like, you know what? I have this Super Nintendo Mini and I have a bunch of games that I always wanted to play, but I never got a chance to play. So I started with that. And the retro community on Twitch was so welcoming and helpful in terms of not just helping me to learn how to broadcast classic games on Twitch, but also just how to be a broadcaster in general. So I decided to stick with that because I like connecting with people through that joy and nostalgia, right? Like that's a really big thing going on right now. It's really popular. I feel like every day we like go to social media and stuff like that, it's like, oh, let's look at like these vaporwave things and remember what it was like eating at the Kmart in the 90s or going to Sam Goody and all that kind of stuff. Like that's popular. So why not stick with that? And being that, you know, all of those people in the community were so willing to help, like I stuck with it because I met a lot of really great people, a lot of people who have become personal friends of mine, and it's just a great space to be in on Twitch. And I feel like it's big enough where creators can start and grow and become partnered and become very successful and earn like sponsorship money and things like that. But it's also small enough where it feels like I kind of know a lot of the people that are in here and you kind of build a rapport with them. So I think it's a really great space. So that's kind of why I've stuck with it through my journey on Twitch.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think the last game my dad and I played together was Kaboom on the Atari 2600. So you know, we don't my dad just looks at games and he just doesn't understand, which is fine. I mean, he's 70 something. So I mean, you know, he tells me stories about when they got their first TV. Okay, so I mean that was I don't know.
It was a simpler time.
I yeah, well, yeah. I mean, games.
I mean, I got lucky in the sense that my parents probably had me, you know, when they were very young, you know, so like the age gap is not as like big as like a lot of people that I know. So they kind of, you know, grew up playing video games and I just grew up along with them playing
See,
video games.
even though I never had that with my
That's so
parents
cool.
because my parents thought video games were like the most evil, worst thing that will vaporize a child's brain, I am looking forward to forging those memories with my child. Like, I had my child.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
No,
talking
I
about.
didn't really have the
Yeah,
super
me
retro
too.
consoles, but so his version of what might be retro for him will be the N64. Although I am playing some NSO games on Switch Online, so he's seen Super Mario's 3. He knows like the castle theme song and stuff like that. And I can't wait till when he gets older and him and I can share that bond of like these games that he grew up with versus the games that maybe he'll play as an adult and I'm too old to play. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I look forward to playing games with my kids too. Although my nephews are super into games right now, but I mean they're 8 and 10, so they're playing like Fortnite and Minecraft and stuff. But like I showed my one nephew Destiny, and he was like thought it was really cool, and like, you know, I don't know if they'll ever get into like the classic stuff, but I look forward to showing my kids the proper way of playing
Proper way.
Yeah,
starting with the NES.
I think it's all about like, how you all bond and what y'all talk about, cuz that's like really the magic of it, right? Like, when I played games with my dad, like, okay, I wasn't good at Robotron, but watching him play and get the high score, it's like, "Oh my god, how far can you go?" Or watching my dad play Tempest, he's like really good at Tempest and Joust. So like, are those some of my favorite games? Not all of them, but having those memories of us playing together and maybe the times we end up talking about things while we're doing that, like those are the things that I think are gonna stick with people.
Yeah,
Damn straight.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.
Yeah.
Well, Ash, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're joining us here on the show. Are you playing? So, okay, I guess I have one more question. What are you playing? But do you play games, like, do you have, like, your stream game and then your non-stream game? Because I know a lot of people have their games that they stream, but then, like, when they're not streaming, they're like, oh, I just want to play my own game without having to worry about making content around it.
Right. I think it's healthy to definitely play things like that you're not doing on stream, because a lot of people, in this space consider what we do like, it's like turn it on, like punching in, and then like, like this is the work that I'm doing. I don't have the luxury of time to sit down and really delve into like a game offline. So that's why I'm very picky about the games that I play while I'm live. Like, I don't play a game unless I really want to play it. And I get recommendations all the time of, Ash, oh my God, I love this game. You should play it. Ash, oh my gosh, you should try this game. Like I'm inundated with that request a lot. But that's why I'm like, okay, I'm going to play a game that I really want to play. So, but however, lately though, I have been playing a little bit of Elden Ring offline. I have a friend that I've been doing, there's like a mod for Elden Ring right now where you can do co-op, and it's really awesome. But I've been doing a little bit of that offline. And there are times when I'll play a game on stream, and a lot of the times the games that I'm playing are first time playthroughs. And there have been a few times where I was so like involved in what was going on in the game. I'll be like, all right, I'm just going to make a new save and play this, offline and continue. Like Morrowind was like that for me. And another game that I played called Siege of Avalon Anthology, which was like an isometric point and click, kind of in the style of Neverwinter Nights, sort of Dark Alliance kind of thing. That the story of that was just so good. Like I was just getting involved in like all the characters and stuff like that. So rarely, but lately I am trying to make the time to do that myself.
That's cool. Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend to know your situation or anything. Like, I'm assuming that like most people, you probably have some sort of this. I mean, this isn't your like job. I mean, it might be. I'm not sure, but like I know some creators who just like, oh well, I have a full-time job during the day, so I'm gonna stream, 3 or 4 hours at night, and then I don't have any time to myself. So that was just
Yeah.
like
Well,
us.
I think I think a lot of what I do during the day is like, because this is what I'm mainly doing. Although I have a degree in graphic design, I worked in a corporate space for like well over 15 years. Like I paid off all my debts, so now I can be picky about like getting like a quote regular job. But I'm comfortable right now. So content creation is my main focus. And I think that there's a lot of potential for how the space is evolving, especially when we look at, other platforms like TikTok and, like whatever YouTube Shorts is going to evolve to be into. But there's a lot of opportunity for growth. And I'm always exploring how the space is evolving. And even like for myself, I started like a profile on LinkedIn, and I'm going to start working towards, being more in that space and speaking to more professionals and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like there's always like ways to learn how to grow and make money in this space and be profitable. So that's kind of like my main focus right now, why I'm so busy and why I don't get a chance to play a lot of games offline.
And you chose your free time to hang out with us on this Wednesday night.
Yay.
Look at that.
Of course. It was important.
And we love you for it.
It was important. So sure, I'm here.
What are you playing on stream? I know you do your Sega Sundays. That's what you do on Sundays? Is your Sega stuff?
Yeah, we do Sega Sunday, Morrowind Monday. I play Star Trek Online on
Nice.
Thursday. I do Amiga.
Oh,
Oh
in the
boy,
morning.
LeRon.
Yeah, I do.
Wait. What starship? What starship are you rolling with right now?
I just upgraded to like, so I'm like, okay. So let's backtrack for a second. I really love Star Trek, and last year I watched all of TNG, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager for the first time ever. And right now I'm in the middle of
Enterprise.
I'm
Right?
in the middle of the original series, the
Okay,
original
okay.
series, and I watched all the movies up until the very last Star Trek movie, which I think is Nemesis. I haven't watched Nemesis yet, but I watched all the other ones,
Mhm.
and so like when it comes to like technical, like, oh, what ship are you flying? Like I'm like the cool one. Like my ship kind of looks like like the new version of the Enterprise D.
The Enterprise. Okay, so one of the updated Galaxy class ships. Okay.
Yeah. And my main character that I play as is a science officer. She's a Trill. Her name is Ashlisa Daxon because I love
Jadzia Dax.
Jadzia Dax. Jadzia Dax is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah,
I love her.
when I was playing Star Trek Online, my character was a Trill also.
Yeah.
It's something about the
Specifically,
spots. The spots.
Exactly. And the thing I love about that game is the character creator. Like most character creators, I cannot get the character to look like me for the life of me.
Yes. Yeah.
This one, I got the character to look almost just like, including the hair. Like I was like blown away by how good the character creator is in this game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really good. Really good. So right now I'm in the middle of the Romulan storyline.
Oh, we're leading up to the supernova.
Yes,
it's been a while. It's been a while. Like I haven't played Star Trek Online in a long freaking time. But
it's
the fact
changed.
Oh, I know. And I thought about picking it back up, but I just waste so much time playing Monster Hunter. So it's like I can't do this.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking about playing Destiny too. So it's like I can't go into another time sink.
Listen, and it is a time sink. Like it. Oh my god! Just like how much customization you can do to your ship alone is just like it's out of this world. Like how much customization you're capable of doing, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
especially for a free to play game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, though. I got excited.
No, that's cool. No, I love it. I love meeting people who are excited about it.
I'm a Trekkie. I'm a Trekkie. Like
yeah. So like I said, okay, so Morrowind Monday, Tuesdays is kind of like a mixed bag. Thursdays I do Star Trek Online. Saturday I do Amiga in the morning, so we play like Amiga 500 games, and then Sunday is Sega Sunday. So I've been playing through Morrowind for more than a year now. I love that game. It's like my happy place. And then Tuesdays I've been doing a first time playthrough of Final Fantasy VI. So yesterday we got through the opera scene. And that was really fun because, like I said, since it's a first time playthrough, like I messed up the opera scene and Everyone thought it was the funniest thing. I was like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So that was really, really fun. And at the first 2 weeks of February, I kind of deviated from my schedule because I was raising money for the American Heart Association. So we did crowd control games, and crowd control, if you don't know what it is, it's a really amazing Twitch integration. They're trying to break out into doing it for YouTube and other platforms. But basically, chat can pay bits or coins, and they can either help you or hurt you in the game. And it's really cool what it's capable of doing. So I was doing that for a little while. So I did like Toe Jam and Earl, and I did Sonic Mania, and we did
Damn.
The Legend of Zelda, and we did a bunch of games. It was really, really fun. So that's what I was doing like the first half of February.
That's awesome.
Good shit. Good shit.
Yeah, I know, man. Stephanie, what are you playing?
Well, I'd like to share that I got my physical copy of Metroid Prime Remastered, although I got that like 2 hours ago, so I haven't played it yet. But it's important enough to mention. Other than that, I'm still playing Minish Cap and Hogwarts Legacy. That's kind of where, like I said, I tend to stick around. Nerds. Oh, that's when you were. I was like, I just saw your message. It said nerds.
No, when they started nerding out about Star Trek, that was like LeRon got so happy. That's the happiest I've seen LeRon in a long time.
It's so nice.
So.
Yes, Ash, you're now the fourth member of the Boss Rush podcast. Do not pass go.
Listen,
do not collect 200. You're here. You're here every week now.
Corey, we had a guest on our Last of Us episode as well, and there was someone that also liked Star Trek or had like family that's Trekkies.
Hell yeah! This has been my week.
Oh man, LeRon's having a good week, everybody.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't want to make it sound boring, but it's only because I'm playing the same thing that I have been playing. Because this is the year of a lot of big games. I think like I'll be rotating through the same game like about once a month. So it's kind of like Minish Cap for Nintendo, Hogwarts Legacy for my PlayStation. March will be a mixed bag. We'll see what March will bring. It's going to be busy with PAX anyway. So, but that's just kind of it. Oh, and more Last of Us just to keep up with the show.
LeRon, what about you?
I'm still playing Dead Space. I'm in the back end of chapter 11 right now, so game's almost done for me. But that doesn't mean I'm done with the game because I'll be doing New Game Plus and everything. Yeah, like the attention to detail they put into this remake has been phenomenal. Like I'm enjoying it. Here's something for people because like you will get to get up close and personal with the marker this time, before like it's actually on the planet, before it's planet side, right? Now, anyone who knows anything about Dead Space knows that the marker has effect on people's minds and stuff like that. When you get close to the marker, the screen starts spazzing the fuck out, and it is the coolest shit. Because at first I thought my game was glitching. Because I was like, "What is going on right now? With the freaking screen?" I was looking. I was like, I wasn't dropping frames, but something didn't look right, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Was that not in the original?
And
that didn't happen. Oh wow, okay.
No, it wasn't. No, it was not. No. So yeah. So the fact that like the EA motive, like they knocked it out the park, and this is. And unless something really amazing comes out this year, this is probably my game of the year. This is probably mine. Yeah, like, and that's sad to say because that game came out in January, and I guess just like how all those Elden Ring players knew that Elden Ring was game of the year when it came out, also in January of last year. Here we go.
Yeah, but
I'm enjoying
Souls
it.
People are always going to pick the Souls game for their game of the year, though.
That's true. I'm enjoying Dead Space, but I do need. But the reason why I know for sure I have to play the New Game Plus is because New Game Plus is where you see the game's alternate ending, and the alternate ending is actually supposed to be a bigger setup for Dead Space 2. Huh. Yeah, and I guarantee you. They're making Dead Space 2. They're remaking Dead Space 2. Like we talked about it last night on Crossroads. We think they're going to do the whole trilogy, but we're hoping that with Dead Space 3, like they they give us just enough to finish the story, because Dead Space 3 dropped off and did not finish the story, but it was implied that a fourth game was coming.
I wonder if they're going to remake Dead Space 2, but change, like, okay, so they changed a little bit of Dead Space 1. I wonder if they change more of Dead Space 2 so they can make an alternate third game, in my opinion. That'd be really interesting.
And just like,
I don't know if they would.
And just like throw out the third game, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I feel like nobody liked it except for Game Informer.
Do you
so
think
like,
after seeing this, unless I missed the announcement, like they're gonna remake the second and third one? Because I heard the second one's actually still like already it holds up to modern games.
Yeah, honestly, Dead Space 1 held up to modern games, actually. Like, Dead Space 1 looks dated, but it doesn't look bad, you know? I think that, honestly, here's my thinking of why we're going to see a Dead Space 2 remake. Number one, if you pre-ordered it, I know for sure on Steam, if you pre-ordered Dead Space 1 before the game came out, you got a free copy of Dead Space 2.
Yep.
Like, yeah, it was crazy because I pre-ordered it, and when the game was ready for preload, I preloaded it, and the next day when I was ready to play the game, Dead Space 2 was in my library, and I was like, damn, I thought thought you guys were going to give me a code, because I already own this game twice. I have it for PlayStation 2 and I have it for PC. I'm sorry, PS3 and PC. So on Origin, so they put it right in my Steam library. So I was like, damn, I can't give this game away. Yeah, but that's my first thought, thinking that they're going to like do a remake of Dead Space 2. My second thought that they're going to do a remake of Dead Space 2 is because they're doing a lot to like basically like bring attention to like events that are going to happen in Dead Space 2. Like, there was a mention of the Sprawl, which is the location that you will be stuck on in Dead Space 2. They also, I told you guys last week about how like you actually get hear the audio recording of the intro to Dead Space 2. That was amazing. And there's one other thing. I just feel like their attention to detail and stuff is just definitely setting us up. Like, we're gonna wind up spending $70 again for a Dead Space game that's gonna be a remake. And I, if they keep up this level of detail, because like, you saw me when I was playing like the first 8 chapters of the old game back before I lost interest in streaming it. Like, the game looked good, but with what was available at the time, like, there was atmosphere, but it wasn't atmospheric, if that makes sense. But now, like, running through Ishimura, like, it's dark in certain places. Like, when the lights flicker, like, like, it throws shadows all over the place. And for somebody like me who wasn't used to playing ray trace games, like, that was freaking me out, because like the Callisto Protocol is my first taste of playing a horror game in ray tracing. And the fact that you would walk down the hallway and like if there was a source of light behind you, it would throw your shadow on the wall. I'm thinking something's coming to kill me. It's my own damn shadow, and like Dead Space does it too. Like also like like this is more like hardware at this point, but like when stuff is like sparking and stuff like that, like the spark particles, they'll hit your body and they'll actually bounce the real physics off your body. So it looks like if you were to walk through like somebody welding something and the sparks hit your body and stuff like that. Just the level of detail is insane, and I've been enjoying it. They tweaked so much, they incorporated like the 0G movement from Dead Space 2 into Dead Space 1, which that was something that everybody was like, man, like they should have done this a lot, from the beginning, when Dead Space 2 came out originally.
I was gonna say, because I've just been watching the Let's Plays of it, and when I see like the zero gravity part, it's so cool. But I'm like, thank goodness I'm just watching it, because if I was playing it, I wouldn't know where my orientation is.
You know what? I have had a problem with orientation, because there is there's a button press that you can do on the controller to reorientate yourself, but you can't control how it reorientates. So sometimes you'll basically just spin the whole axis around before you're right side up again, and it's like, you could have done a little better than that, but every game has its shortcomings and stuff like that. This is why I don't give perfect 10s whenever I do review games, because like every game, there's always something that could be better or could be better realized. But yeah, ultimately, I feel like Dead Space itself, like it's just a masterpiece at this point. You know, like everybody, you all know you all know where my socials are and stuff like that. You have words you want to say to me about it, like go ahead. Like, you know, it's February 22nd. This is game of the year as far as I'm concerned. So cry about it.
It's only February, LeRon.
Yeah.
I know. Well, let's just put it this way: every other game I'm looking forward to is knocking Dead Space off the pedestal. Unless Monster Hunter 6 drops, you know, before the end of the year, then we have a problem.
Well, you know, Capcom might be doing something. I mean, they're
Nah,
also
Capcom's worried about Resident Evil 4 remake and Street Fighter 6.
I've also heard through the grapevine, Mega Man 12, maybe, possibly.
I've heard that too. That's possibly in development, or we might get an announcement. I've heard that too, which I'm all for. Like, especially if it looks, acts, and plays just like Mega Man 11.
Well, either way, if that is a problem, LeRon, that's a pretty good problem to have.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I guess hasn't
Disney
been.
Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, the new update's out. Okay, the spring Disney 100 event is happening right now. Guess who already completed it with 35 days left? This guy.
Did you get Mini yet?
Nope. I'm working on it. I've been farming. I've been trying to like. I've been trying to farm, like really like farm like crops and stuff to sell, because you can buy them. You can buy the bags of the seeds, and then you can you can plant them, and then you can turn around and sell it for like, I don't know, 10 times the amount of the bag was worth. So I'm trying to get all my upgrades first before I progress through the other things. But it's really hard to do that because I want to see what else is happening in this game. But you know, still playing that, playing some Destiny 2, preparing for Lightfall next week. It's gonna be rad. I also started a new character in Destiny because gotta say the Warlock Strand stuff looks pretty cool. So been doing that. And I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy to try to get through that, but that's it's kind of it. Nothing really new to report. Oh, I did play some Mario 3 the other night on Switch. So
yeah, I need to get back into Super Mario 3.
Mm-hmm.
That and Minish Cap. Oh my god! Like I picked up Minish Cap for like a hot second, and then I was like, I can come back to this later. I got to beat Dead Space. And then I got to move on to Metroid Prime. And then I saw someone, and they were like, what was your favorite thing from the direct? And it had a GIF of Link from the Minish Cap, and the Cap started talking to him. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta play this game again.
I love Minish Cap.
Yeah,
See, you guys think I'm a Nintendo downer, but do you see how much glee I've had since that direct?
Yeah, because all your favorite things are finally coming out, like
yeah,
Advance
exactly.
Wars.
Advance Wars,
Yeah.
Metroid game, and yeah.
Mario 3 from the Game Boy Advance, shoot, where's my Mario 2 at? That's the one I want.
The Mario 2 port on Game Boy Advance is the best version
It's
of Mario 2.
superior.
Tell me different. Mario 2.
That
my favorite Mario game.
That and give me my damn Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Even though isn't it already on the Super NES side of the console? They probably won't bring it out then. They probably won't.
Probably not. Although that is a great version of that game.
That's my preferred version of the game to play though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to keep the shovel in that version, which I like.
Yes.
Good times. So I want to play Minish Cap, but I have to beat Link's Awakening first because I am at the last dungeon of Link's Awakening, and then I just stopped playing.
Me too.
Why?
What is up with that? What? Me too.
Yeah. Why? I don't know. Because I'm an idiot, I guess. I was having such a great time, and then I just stopped playing. So that's my goal, is to beat that game in the next month or so. You know what? March and April, dead months for me. So I'm going to play those. There we go. Write it down. All right. So let's get into some topics. Ash, we're going to begin with your topic because you're our guest. Sure. And I really love your topic because before I thought about bringing this topic up probably 2 or 3 times in the last couple months, but your topic's awesome.
Yeah, I think I think for people who broadcast in the retro space, it's commonly asked. And whenever I get asked this question, it reminds me of how small that space is because when I meet people who don't broadcast in the retro space, it reminds me like, oh yeah, not everybody thinks this way. Like gaming is, especially when I'm meeting people who are younger than I am, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the Wii, that's retro," and I'm just
Yeah,
like, "I'm just gonna
yeah,
turn into dust right now, thanks." But
I
yeah,
know.
so usually what we get asked is, what do you consider retro? How far back does retro go for you? And are retro or neo-retro games, retro-inspired or neo-retro games really considered retro? So I'd love to hear
What?
what you all think about that.
Okay, so I might be old, but what is neo retro? What is
Right?
that?
Isn't that like
So
a
like
contradiction?
So basically think like Shovel Knight, think like a lot of the games that are coming up on Steam that are like pixel, like they have like the
Oh,
pixel graphics, the pixel look,
Okay.
but they're new games like Infernax
mhm.
or let's see what's one that I just played recently. It was really good. Eldrand, that just came out, and they have that pixel look, but they're new games.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But can I just
Okay.
say, I feel that exactly what you just said, Ash, because the other day I was talking to a neighbor and he has like a 16-year-old son, and he knows I game and stuff. He goes, "Oh, you have some extra Wii remotes?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And I don't barely even use the console, so I'll just lend you my Wiimotes. He goes, "Yeah, because my 16-year-old son says that he's going all retro and retro gaming is huge, and apparently Wii is retro." And I just died on the inside. I'm like, okay.
I know.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize Wii was retro according to the teens right now.
Honest,
It's
These
okay.
honestly,
teens know nothing.
Look,
I feel like the
my
Wii. I feel like the Wii is retro, considering that it was a
Quiet,
PS3
LeRon.
era
no,
device.
no,
Quiet,
no.
quiet, quiet.
I
My
mean, I
no.
kind of agree with you. I agree.
Yeah,
As much as
I
I
feel like
love
two.
two
Go ahead. Go
consoles
ahead.
back is my rule.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
same
See,
for me.
our thoughts are one.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree, but it's just so hard for me to think. So my nephew said that because they have Game Pass and stuff, and he's been playing some original Xbox and Xbox 360 games. And what did he say? Oh, I think he was playing like
Halo is more than 20 years old now, so
I
think
know,
about
but
that.
I think he was playing Halo 3, and he's like, I'm playing these old games, Halo 3. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel
I
so
know.
old
Yeah.
talking to you. Oh.
I know. Like I
I mean,
remember the day that the Wii came out,
me
right?
too. Yeah.
So, I was a grown adult. I remember when that came out, like, and it's like thinking back now that there are kids who, were born and after that launch, and now they look back at that and they're like, "Oh yeah, all these old games." I'm like, "What?"
I know.
Well, I
Oh,
do,
it's
do think it's very fluid, right? And I probably have like the worst definition of retro in my mind. So for me, retro is not necessarily the number of years, but rather what were the console generations that were technically before your time. So for me, I came like I was a baby, so I couldn't play. So it was like the NES and SNES. So that for me is retro because it's before, because I think of retro as kind of before I came along and therefore old school. And for my kid, it'll be like N64, GameCube, Wii. Because I was, when I say adult, like I was 18 or whatever, I forget when the Wii came out. So, like, I don't really consider it retro for me, but maybe for a younger generation it is. So, I don't know. It's just more like, what was I a child when the game came out, or when the console came out, or before? And that will automatically classify as retro to me. So it might be different for a Gen X versus a Gen Z. I think Z is after millennial. So
they're called
Yeah.
Zoomers, Stephanie.
Zoomers?
Boomer.
No, no, that's gross.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, like when I'm speaking to an audience on Twitch or wherever I'm talking, like it's always going to be rolling, right? Like, and I'm
hmm
always going to be meeting people who it's like, well, for me, Atari is retro, not NES, not Super Nintendo, not, like,
That makes zero. That makes zero sense.
but like
in my
kids,
in my opinion. In my opinion.
But like a kid, like a 12-year-old kid will look at like, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 and be like, "These games are old," you know? So it's like it's all dependent on who you ask and their
Mhm.
perspective. But for
Yeah.
me, like like the biggest it's contested all the time because when people play, on Twitch and they choose the retro category. It's not really a category, but they choose that as like a kind of like catch-all instead of playing under the game category. And then somebody is like, "Why are you playing this game under the retro category? Is it really retro?" It's like, well, I mean, if this game is like 20 years old or two systems back, yeah, I think that that's okay. And I think that's why that conversation comes up a lot because it's like, well, what do we consider it, and like where's the line drawn, you know?
Yeah. And to me, like in my brain, I think anything before the 3D era of games is retro, like whatever, like N64, be anything before N64 and I guess PS1 and Saturn, right? Like would be retro, but in like what I've kind of decided to tell myself is like anything before the HD era, so anything before PS3 and Xbox 360 is retro, right? Whether I think it is or not, like PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Dreamcast is like the last of the retro. They're the newest retro to me.
Yeah.
It's just really hard because like it's just really hard to look at something like Gears of War or Skyrim or Fallout and something like that and be like, that is a retro game. No, those still feel modern. I think the fact that the console generations last longer now,
Yeah.
Mhm.
games, especially what Xbox is doing with their backwards compatibility program, where like, okay, Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 13 is like, you know, 2 generations old at this point, but the fact that they got it running at 4K, they have, AI redone textures running at 60 frames a second with new lighting and auto HDR. It looks like a pretty modern game, right? And
Yeah.
it's like it's hard for me to grasp that, or something like Gears of War 2 uh or Halo 3 or Reach. Even like these feel like modern games, and look like modern games, because I mean Xbox is my platform of choice, so like even if I'm playing an old game, it still looks and kind of feels new to an extent. So that's kind of where my brain is at. But I tell myself anything before the HD consoles is retro. You're gonna have to live with that for the rest of your life. And then, my kids will grow up and be like, "Oh, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, that Halo Infinite, that's retro." I'm like, don't
Well,
like
like
that.
even just to put it from a gaming perspective, like I'm hearing a lot of people, and there's something wrong with it, obviously. I'm hearing people go, "Yeah, Breath of the Wild was my first Zelda game," and I'm like, "Oh,
I know,
oh gosh."
I know. But like even like, so my favorite game, right, for the last decade is Destiny. Well,
Right.
Destiny's entering its 10th year, and it started on the Xbox 360 and PS3. Does that make Destiny retro, even though it's still going? You know what it's
Mm,
just
Right. I think
I
that's why for me, it doesn't like the amount of years is less relevant and more of the how many consoles back is
mhm,
more relevant to me because like you're saying consoles are lasting a whole lot longer,
mhm.
than they were before. So that's why
yeah,
that's more relevant to me.
yeah. Plus, like with when Steam came around and kind of changed everything, right? Like your library moves with you, and PC games get updated or respect all the time for operating systems and stuff. Like that changes things too.
Mhm.
It's like,
Mhm.
oh well, Half-Life technically is an old game, but or a retro game or whatever, but like they just added ray tracing and like new graphic textures and stuff to it. So like, is it?
Right.
Ugh,
And
Ooh,
then
good
and then
point.
what do we and then when you start to get into, like, modding games, right? Because like, there's a group of people making, like, the Skywind mod of Morrowind, which makes it look like Skyrim, or, like, has, like, a really beautiful, like, updated graphic look, like, okay, well, is that version retro even though it's, like, a game that's been around for more than 20 years?
yeah, it's like I don't know. To me, like I look at Atari and NES and Super Nintendo and just automatically yes, retro, classic. N64, like I consider Retro 2 just because, like, oh man, this is the advent of 3D gaming, really, right? I mean, we have examples like Star Fox and stuff that were 3D before this, but
And Star
PS1
Fox just celebrated its 30th
30th.
anniversary yesterday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
and
know.
speaking of
Where's our Star
franchises,
Fox game,
Nintendo
guys?
just won't give any. Exactly. Took the words right out of my mouth. Instead of another Kirby game,
No, we
why
got
don't you just
two.
give us
We got
Star
two Star
Fox?
Fox games last gen. We got 2 Star Fox games on the Wii U.
The
They were
console that
bad,
no
but
one
they were
bought.
there. I bought it. It's hooked up. It's right there.
Good
Star
for you.
Fox.
You and
There
like
were
10 other
two. There
people.
were 2 on the Wii U.
Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Don't
I mean,
get me
okay.
lying.
Guard is
Wait. I
Guard
was
was
gonna
like,
say they were like in the same box. Like,
yeah, it's still
okay,
2 separate games. They're 2
okay.
boxes on my shelf. Just right there.
Let it slide.
Also, there is one on the DS, 3DS, Star Fox Command, Star
Yep.
Fox 64 3D.
Right,
There's been
and
a lot
then
of Star Fox.
where do handhelds fall on that list?
Oh, geez, don't even get me started on handheld stuff.
I feel like
Right?
I feel like every handheld, if it's not current gen, is automatically retro.
Well, I mean, even just the idea of having a handheld is a
Yeah.
retro idea, because
Yeah.
if you have a handheld, it might as well be on your phone at this point.
Right.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
By the
But
way,
technically, the Steam Deck is blurring those lines quickly.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
By the
And then
way,
you
I saw you got one of those analog pockets. I'm very
Yeah.
jealous.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous machine. I love it.
Yeah, I'm quite jealous. That thing looks awesome. It just reminds me of because my favorite handheld growing up, I had a Game Boy, I had an original Game Boy, but my favorite Game Boy is the Game Boy Pocket, and I have the
Right.
silver and black one, and that thing just reminds me of that console and so many great memories of A Link to the
Aw.
Past and yeah,
Yep.
yep,
I have
and
the green one, yeah.
Pokemon and Tetris and Mario Golf. Oh, so many good Game Boy games.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, man, handhelds though. I mean, I that's the Switch also blurs the line. Is that a handheld? I don't know. I like to play mine on the TV, but
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I think the Switch Lite, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I kind of forget that console exists all the time. The Switch Lite. But yeah, we were talking about that too in the chat today. The Switch Lite. But retro games, man, they're I want to explore this idea of neo retro though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's a really interesting phenomenon that's happening a lot right now. I think with the accessibility of people being able to, develop their own games, smaller, companies, 1, 2, less than 5 people on a company are able to develop their own games. I think, this is like a style that's super prominent within that space. And like I said, with the idea that retro is such a money grab, not really money grab, but it's like a big thing with people nowadays. Like people who grew up with Super Nintendo and all that kind of stuff are now in the position where they're spending money and those things appeal to them. So I feel like a lot of times in the indie scene, like right now we're seeing a lot of games that have that kind of look, And even when you think of things like Blasphemous and stuff like that, it's like really beautifully rendered pixel art. But it speaks to us as people who grew up with those kinds of games,
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite games is actually just getting a physical release. Is Hyper Light Drifter, and that game is one of the coolest pixel art games I've ever seen. That game is awesome, and Hyper Light Breaker is coming out soon, also, which has me very excited.
One of the games that I've played, I mean, it's on early release, is called X Zodiac, and it's low poly, and it's very reminiscent of the original Star Fox and Star Fox 64. And it was so much fun and thrilling, and just satisfied this feeling I didn't think I needed or had, because you would think the best, video games are at its best when it's what's all that techno babble, LeRon, like 1080p or whatever, like beautiful, gorgeous graphics, look so
Yep.
realistic, blah blah blah. Here is this low poly little ship that you're maneuvering around with buildings with no window. Like it's very simple and it's very retro because it's the low poly from back in the day. But I don't know if it's the nostalgia tickle or what, but oh man, it was great.
Yeah, like another game that I really love that has that low poly PlayStation 1 sort of vibe is Frogun, where you play as
Mm.
like this girl and you're a treasure hunter and you're trying to save your parents that got lost in like a cave. They were like, looking for treasure and they got lost. And so you have to find them. But it has this PlayStation 1 look, kind of like Mega Man Legacy, and it's really really fun to play, but that it has that really cool retro vibe. And another game that I really love, Star Renegade, and Ion Fury. There's a
Mm,
game called Ion Fury. I don't know if you've ever played it, but it has that
yeah.
like blood, doom, Serious Sam like kind of vibe, because first of all, like, you play as a woman who, like, she has like the voice lines that are just as good as all of those games. Like, she doesn't take any nonsense. She's totally kick ass, and like the music, and that's another thing in these games that I love. The music is so good because they use that kind of like 16-bit like Super Nintendo sound chip kind of sound that we all like really really love. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot of this really cool gameplay, like games being made like that going on right now, and I love to see it. I'm living for it right now.
Yeah. I think I mean I played indie games before this, but I think Shovel Knight's the one that really like put indie games on the map, which I don't think is a unpopular thing. I think a lot of people are really drawn to Shovel Knight for multiple different reasons. Um, we're actually
It's a
having their
satisfying game to play, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
Super satisfying.
especially the DLC stuff. Like Spectre Knight campaign, I think is the best 2D platforming campaign I've played in the last decade. Like it's that good.
Mhm.
We're actually having their marketing director on the show in a couple weeks, which I'm very excited for. Uh,
Nice.
but I'm not a huge indie game person, but the games I do like really are. They remind me of the games I used to play when I was little. I mean, obviously that's the draw of them, but like that's just what I've noticed over the last few years, right? Hyper Light Drifter is kind of like Zelda. Shovel Knight kind of has a Mario 2 DuckTales feel to it.
Yeah.
N plus and N plus plus are some of the
Yeah.
best platformers out there, like hardcore platformers. Super Meat Boy is a classic. I know I'm
Yeah.
naming ones that are kind of older, but like those are still, they stand out because they're so good and so iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And oh, you know what? If you're looking for a game that feels like Star Fox, like OG Star Fox Super Nintendo, X Zodiac is like basically in that same
Oh,
spirit. It's
yeah, that's the
so
game I
good.
was talking about. The
Yeah,
low
yeah, yeah.
poly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 you did. Yeah, yeah, you did mention that. Sorry,
Oh,
my
love it. No, no,
apologies
it's
there.
okay. I
Yeah.
love it. I can't wait to see more content come out for it. I hope it's as successful so that the dev can keep making levels.
Yeah, and that's what I love about it too. That's what I love about a lot of these games is, like, the more we play them and then give that feedback, like, help them grow, like, the
Mhm.
more games that they make like that. And it feels kinda like sometimes with a lot of these smaller devs, like you're kinda in the game making process with them because
Mhm.
they're constantly updating it, like you said, like, as they're going along, and, like, it's a really cool space to kinda see grow, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good topic. I love it, man. These old games. I literally the other day I hooked up my GameCube and my Dreamcast because I just felt like playing that generation is probably my favorite. What's everybody's favorite retro generation to
Retro
wrap up this?
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like for me, it would probably be either Super Nintendo or PlayStation 1. I teeter between those 2.
I feel you on that actually. But I enjoyed everything in the PlayStation 2 era.
What's the what? Remind me again. What's the Nintendo equivalent in the PS2 era? Was that GameCube or Nintendo
GameCube.
64?
That was
Okay,
GameCube.
GameCube.
because mine kind of straddles. I know, and I've said this a bunch of times in our previous recordings. I know N64 was not the best console, but it's just the one that I got stuck with growing up. So like for me it's like PS2 and N64, which again I know are two different generations, but somehow those are
Yeah, but the
mine.
N64 has a ton of bangers on it, though, right? Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
Majora's Mask, Banjo Kazooie, obviously Mario 64, but then you got all the rare stuff.
Rare, yeah,
Yeah,
that
GoldenEye, yeah.
so
Yeah, Jet
that's
Force
kind of what I
Gemini,
got
Conquer.
hung up on. And you know what? Back then, I didn't know any better. So what I was looking at and the really crappy camera angles, didn't know any better, so it was fine for me back then.
Yeah. So,
Hard to
I
go
mean,
back
for
to though.
yeah, in some ways it is. I don't know. I still want that Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3DS port on something more modern and something on the TV, but that's just me. I mean, my favorite generation, I think, is the GameCube and the Dreamcast and PS2, Xbox generation. I love the GameCube. I know it's not nobody else bought that console either. So my two favorite Nintendo consoles
I
nobody
had a
bought. So
GameCube. What are you talking about? I had a GameCube.
I know, but
I
my
had a game.
point is
I
it
had a
only
GameCube
sold
because that was
21 million units instead of the colossal 155 million units that the PlayStation 2 sold. Uh, it has the two of my favorite
well.
Zelda games. It's got
If
Luigi's
I can,
Mansion, Pikmin. Oh, so good.
if I can make a comment off of that though,
No,
it's because the as widely popular as Nintendo 64 was, it left a bad taste in gamers' mouths.
but I
It
don't.
did?
The N64 wasn't even that popular though. It only sold like 30 million units. The PlayStation outsold it like 4-1.
I swear, I sit down and I talk to my friends, like a big friend group, and almost every damn body had a Nintendo 64 except for me.
I mean, I think it was definitely the multiplayer console where, like, if at least one of your friends had an N64, nobody else needed it because you could just all go over there and play GoldenEye or Perfect Dark or Mario Kart or Diddy Kong
Yeah,
Racing, another banger on that console. Uh, but yeah, all right, good topic. Good topic. My topic. We can kind of go through this because I really want to play this back of the box trivia game. But there are a lot of documentaries coming out or are out about behind the scenes of making a game. Double Fine just released their Psychonauts 2 one.
Hmm.
There's the God of War one that came out when the uh, new game came out. Destiny does a bunch of Vidocs and behind the scenes and developer diary stuff that you can watch on their YouTube channel. Other people like NoClip are making bigger documentaries. Like, what do you guys think about making of and behind the scenes documentaries? Do we want to see more? Do we want to hear these stories? Also, Atari 50 has a great one. If you haven't played that, like, playing through the documentary is a really cool way of doing that.
You
So
know, I haven't really seen many of the documentaries, and I'm not saying it's because I'm not interested in seeing them. I guess I just haven't gotten around to them. But the idea is great. You know, I kind of like documentaries when I have the time to watch them. So, you know, I would definitely be game, no pun intended, for more. But I don't know how much weight that carries because I haven't really been watching any.
that's fair.
I think it's like super fascinating. I don't know if you all have ever played a point and click Sierra game called Gabriel Knight Sins of the Fathers, but that game came with basically a behind the scenes video. And the thing that made that documentary fascinating was that it was one of the first video games that hired like movie stars to be voices in the game. So you had uh what's the voice I keep forgetting his name, Luke Skywalker.
Mark
Mark
Hamill.
um
Hamill.
Mark Hamill is a voice in that. Michael Dorn, who you know is Worf in Star Trek,
Yep.
and Tim Curry, who is the voice of Gabriel Knight, and Leah Remini. So, it was absolutely fascinating to watch them talk about, their side of the acting of the game and just basically how this game was developed, using technology that was brand new at the time and things like that. So, I am totally on board with learning about the game developer side or just like like the behind the scenes side of what it takes to make. And I think it will also help normalize like some of the things that we see in the industry where people are constantly complaining about like why do these games get pushed back, like why do these games cost so much money, why do like these things like happen within this space, because then it'll kind of shed light onto like the process. And I'm always down for like any kind of like what is going on in this space, because I think it's also cool to see how that inspires people to wanna be a part of that space. Like, people might not know, like, "Oh, wow, graphic designers can be a part of making video games even if they don't know anything about video games." So I think that's why things like this are really cool, because it helps kind of, like, show people, well, what are the other paths that you can have to be a part of the game industry without just being the person who codes or tests or actually makes the game.
Yeah, education is power,
Yeah,
man. And
yeah,
not
definitely.
that not that I feel like this needs to happen. Like I don't want to, force my hobbies onto people, but video games are still like a niche thing. Slowly getting some mainstream recognition like the Last of Us show and stuff like that, but I still have a lot of people look at me funny or kind of a tone in their voice when they hear me say that I'm a full-grown adult that plays video games and writes and talks about it. It's a Netflix effect. If you have a documentary on it, the quote unquote mainstream will see it and be like, oh, then maybe they'll learn that video games aren't just for children and antisocial
Yeah.
people.
Hmm.
Because I'm really getting sick of people kind of still being passive aggressive about their judgment. I'm like, listen, I could be a functioning adult in society and still enjoy video games.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that TikTok or Instagram reel that's going around right now. It's like everybody loves a nerd until they actually start doing nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
um, I like seeing all the behind the scenes stuff of like how video games are done, especially like seeing like mocap and voice acting stuff. And I think the reason why I got into that is because remember when SSX Tricky came out?
Hmm.
There
Hmm.
was a ton of bonus content on the disc that showed them like interviewing the voice actors and like and seeing how the process is done and everything. And I thought that was so fascinating that like whenever I would find games that had that content in it, and that's also how I kind of went like crazy with buying like collector's edition stuff, because like a lot of collector's editions back in the PS2 era would give you that behind the scenes stuff, the documentary stuff, and like I kind of grew out of that shit fast, when collector's editions started becoming really, really shitty, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
like
gosh.
what's
Go ahead.
that?
No, finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Oh no, I was practically done. All I was gonna say is like I've always loved the process of seeing how stuff is made. Remember how like when the Mass Effect team was showing us all that stuff about Mass Effect Andromeda, but then they showed us so much that we're like, this game's in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I think that when I started seeing that stuff though, like God of War 2 had one on PS2, had a big behind the scenes kind of documentary thing. Gears of War 2 had a big one, which was really good. And that's when I kind of like started watching these things. Not that I'm like watching these things every week or anything, but when there's one that seems interesting, I will go seek it out and watch it.
Yeah.
Although the Double Fine one right now is like 35 hours long and it's 32 parts. I'm like, I don't need one that's that long. Uh, but
So, question,
yeah.
because it kind of ties in with retro. Like, is there such thing as a Mario documentary?
Like, made by Nintendo?
Yeah.
I don't
None that
think
I've seen.
so.
I doubt
Yeah, I
it.
No,
feel like Nintendo doesn't really do that kind of stuff. But
they
speaking
don't.
of retro, like I think it would be really great if Nintendo put out some sort of the making of Mario documentary. Now, hear me out because I'm not trying to be a Nintendo fangirl or anything, but Super Nintendo World just opened. There's going to be a new Super Mario Brothers movie. and they already have the Mario 30th anniversary like encyclopedia. Like they have a ton of all this other crap. And
Mhm.
like again, retro, what would be more mind-blowing? And even people who don't play video games know who Mario is. I feel like
Mhm.
that is a long-standing franchise that people would go nuts for. What's like another, cuz I don't want to be Nintendo biased. Is there any other that you think would, or like even like there's going to be a show for Tetris. Now granted that's not a documentary, that's going to be a show. But like why not do a
Actually,
documentary?
that's a movie, and it's supposed to be the recounting of what they did to get Tetris to the West.
Well, that's what I mean. So it's not a documentary, it's a movie, but I'm like Tetris just to borrow that idea, like, or Pong, or was it Alien Invaders or something? Space Invaders?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I wonder if Nintendo even has any leftover footage from like when Miyamoto was making the
Oh,
first Super Mario game.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys watched the Game Over documentary on um, Netflix, but that
Mm.
has like a cool section of like when Sega kind of came into this scene to take on Nintendo. That's pretty cool.
ooh. It's
Yeah,
called
and
Game Over, and you said it's on Netflix?
I think it's called Game Over. I think it's called
Yeah,
Game Over.
I typically like just like YouTube is wonderful for all this stuff because there are people out there that do the sleuthing and the legwork to find all this stuff out and stuff like that. Because I saw like a retrospective on metal on like the complete Metal Gear thing, like at least the Kojima era. I mean, yeah, the Kojima era of Metal Gear,
Ooh.
and it was amazing. It was amazing. It was. I usually do not watch a lot of long form YouTube videos, but like it was the best 3 hours of my day that I spent.
All right, I want to play this back of the box trivia because I've been wanting to play this for a couple weeks now, but I figured that this would be like Ash's kind of retro kind of prominence makes this even better. So some of these I think you guys are going to get right away. Some of these one of you may know, one of you might not. And then I think there might be one or two that you guys may not get, but they're personal favorites of mine and I don't care.
Mhm.
These are all from the same generation, by the way. GameCube, Dreamcast, Xbox, PlayStation 2. So all these games first appeared on one of those consoles. All right. I'm going to read the first one. Whoever. So at the end of this, I have 13 games. At the end of this, the winner is going to get a cool prize of their choice.
Hmm.
So, which means a digital gift card to a console of your choice,
So
of course.
how do we keep this from everybody blurting out at once? Do we like hit the raise hand thing?
Yes. So everybody's going to mute themselves. And
Hmm.
then, so, uh, and then whoever I see first raise their hand, which is the little hand button down by the thing. That's who's going to get to answer first. And if you get it wrong, somebody else gets a chance. If you get it right, you get 1 point. Whoever has the most points at the end. Now I have an odd number of games. I have 13 games, so there can't be a tie. I planned it out. I thought 12, but I'm like, if each of you get 4, then we're going to have a tie. We're going to have a problem. And I'm going to scramble to find a third game. So, all right. So here's the first game. Everybody got the rules? Everybody good? Great. All right. Our first game here. As the edge of the blank system, an army of diabolical dinosaurs had shattered the tranquil world of blank planet. I feel like if I say certain words, you're going to get it right away. So that's where blank comes in. Probably should explain that. The future looks bleak until this team enters the fray. For the first time in his legendary career, blank leaves his ship to battle enemies in hand-to-hand combat with an enchanted staff and untold powers. Ash.
Star Fox Armada, right?
Close,
Yeah.
but no.
I
Hmm.
okay. All right.
That's all I got. Anybody else have a guess? I feel like Ash gets half a point because she guessed the right series. It's Star Fox
Is it?
Adventures.
Um.
So, man, I thought that one was going to be easy.
I
almost
knew
said
it was A. I knew it was A. I always get them confused.
Well, just so you know, like anything Star Fox is gonna stump the shit out of me. Anything was never a fan of the series.
that's fine. All right, our next game. For every choice, a consequence. Anyways, the award-winning best-selling Xbox game returns in blank the Lost Chapters, bringing a wealth of expanded content, greater customization, and new quests. Every choice has a consequence. Oh, Ashley raised her hand again.
Sorry. That's Fable.
It is. It is Fable. Man, come on, guys! You guys are.
Dude,
The retro gamer is gonna nail us.
Well,
Yeah.
Unless you start throwing out some PS2 games out here, I'm not gonna
thanks,
be
LeRon.
able to handle
Same
this.
here. I'm like, I don't know.
All right, here.
Anything.
You know what, LeRon? Here's your PS2 game. Okay, here it is. An epic adventure that spans the galaxy. Blank dreams of exploring the galaxy, and a sudden turn of fate is recruited into a band of pirates and takes flight on an adventure of a lifetime. Set to discover new worlds on a quest to find legendary planet that holds the key to the greatest treasure in the galaxy. LeRon.
It's the last JRPG I played on PS2. Rogue Galaxy.
Yep.
Nice.
It's the final JRPG I played on the PS2. Wonderful game.
All right, here's our next one. Legend has it that when evil has appeared, a hero has risen to defeat it. The legend continues on the surface of a great and mysterious sea as Blank sets off on his most epic and awe-inspiring adventure. Oh no, everybody's raising their hand.
Stephanie was first.
Okay, Stephanie.
Wind Waker.
Yep.
Hey!
Yep.
Paxel, no.
You threw her the easiest one.
Oh, be quiet. All y'all have points except for me right now.
I'm messing with you.
All right. So the sky's the limit. In this adventure, journey through uncharted skies to discover new continents and explore mystical ruins. Oh no.
Let Ash go. Let Ash go.
Oh no, that's from the last one.
Oh.
That was my hand being raised from the last question.
Oh. Okay. Skies of Arcadia Legends. It's the damn Dreamcast one. I hate you.
I literally have the box.
I hate you.
I mean,
I hate you. I hate you, Corey. That you're using the Dreamcast one.
It is Skies of Arcadia for Dreamcast.
Oh, I hate you. Damn it.
You know what, LeRon? You can have that point. It's fine.
Yeah. I've never played the Dreamcast. I never had a Dreamcast.
By the way, that was the final Dreamcast game I ever played.
Yeah, the GameCube version's better. It has more characters.
The GameCube version is better. I bought it again for GameCube.
Yeah. But, all right. So grab the wheel and prepare for the craziest ride of your life. The Smash arcade hit comes to Sega Dreamcast. Weave your way through... Oh, no.
I think Ash got me this time. I think she got me this time.
I mean, I might know. I was going to say Crazy Taxi.
It is Crazy Taxi.
That's it. That's it.
And here I am with my horrible self-confidence. I'm like, it sounds like Crazy Taxi, but it's probably not.
Like I fumbled toggling the raise hand button. I accidentally clicked like my name.
Is anybody keeping score? Because I haven't been keeping score.
I thought you were.
I thought you were keeping score.
Okay, on. Stephanie has one. I have two, and Ash officially has three.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can somebody keep score in the chat for me while I try to read this stuff? LeRon, you're in charge. You're welcome. Man, I thought it was going so well. Fulfill your destiny. Snatched from prison by the Emperor's decree, you arrive at the port of Blank in the waning years of the Third Era with nothing but the name on a contract in blank.
Okay.
Ash, are you raising your hand, or is that
Yeah. I'm gonna say Morrowind.
It is Morrowind.
Yeah.
Nice.
Damn, of course you'd get that one.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I've picked a bunch of games that she's talked about tonight
All
already.
the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
To be fair, I picked these games on Monday, so. All right, LeRon, maybe you'll get this one, LeRon.
Maybe.
As war looms on the horizon, the mighty Arcadian Empire begins a campaign to subjugate its neighbors. The small kingdom of blank was one such neighbor, and it is here that our tale begins. In a fight for freedom, fallen royalty and unlikely allies must struggle to liberate their homeland. Trace the mysteries behind the Empire's invasion and unmask the players in a drama of justice and betrayal.
I do feel like I should know this one. This is definitely a PS2 game.
It is.
Yeah, I feel like I should know this one, but read it one more time, please.
All right, maybe I'll open up the blanks. Maybe they'll give you a better. As war looms on the horizon, the mighty Arcadian Empire begins a campaign to subjugate its neighbors. The small kingdom of Damascus was one such neighbor, and it is here that our tale begins.
Damn it.
Oh my gosh.
I have a guess, but
I don't have it.
wait.
I don't have it. Ash, it's yours to steal if you want it.
My guess is Radiata Stories.
Nope. No, I almost picked that one, but I thought that one would be too hard.
This is an RPG, though. This is an RPG.
Yeah.
I know this for sure.
Oh,
this is an RPG.
It's a popular RPG
It's a popular RPG.
in a popular series.
Okay, I think I know what it is now, but I'm not gonna say anything.
It's one of my favorite games of all time.
I think
Probably-
I know what it is now.
All right. Well, Ash, do you want to take a guess?
I think it could be Dragon Quest 8.
Nope. Close.
Damn.
But it's not.
Okay.
Should I reveal the game?
Yeah.
Wait,
Stephanie.
the
Stephanie,
stuff,
do you want to take a guess?
Even if it's a wrong guess, I would just take a guess.
No, don't mind me. My Discord, not Discord, my Zencaster's bugging out real bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll reveal the game then. Final Fantasy 12 is the game.
Oh, I never played it.
Damn it! I knew it. I knew it. I knew it because 12 is the precursor to Final Fantasy Tactics, my favorite Final Fantasy game of all time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sounds reminded me of a point of Tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
which they should do a remaster of that game.
They should. Tactics Ogre is doing phenomenal right now in the remaster category.
Yeah. I just bought that for the Switch.
Yeah, Tactics is coming. It was in that NVIDIA leak, and everything from that NVIDIA leak has come true.
What, Tactics?
Mm-hmm.
No, wait, don't play with me like that. Do not.
It's the War of the Lions remastered, I think. The PSP.
Oh, I hope they fix the spells because that was the only problem with the War of the Master. I had to the War of the Lions. I had to crack I had to basically patch the PSP version to make it play right.
Well, that's the version we're getting, so I hope you're ready.
Stephanie, can you hit us real fast so we see a waveform?
Yeah.
Test.
There he is. Okay. Our next one. This one I think might be a little bit tricky, but also might not. This is the first PS2 game I ever bought with Madden. I bought this game.
With Madden?
I bought this with Madden.
With Madden.
Time,
okay.
Not. Anyways, play the action movie. Sion is a blank in a Dog Street bar called Fate. An organized kidnapping by the Mikado Group Special Forces draws blank and his friends into an incredible battle beyond the mean streets of the future. LeRon.
The Bouncer.
It is The Bouncer. Oh my gosh. I could just hear
Bouncer.
That. I could just hear Ash, you should play The Bouncer on stream, by the way.
You said that's PS2?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll see if I can find a copy of it.
Oh
the
my God.
bouncer.
Man, I have 2 copies. If you can't find one, I'll just send you my other copy because that game is incredible.
Yeah.
Really bad, but also incredible. So, um, yeah, man, the bouncer. So like it's funny because like you play through it and you see the story, but then when you do New Game Plus, you get an extra chapter that's an extra part of the story. And then if
Yeah.
you do
Mhm.
New Game Plus, you get the final chapter of the story, and it actually changes the entire ending. It's so
Okay,
cool.
I just looked up the box art, and I do remember this box art.
Hmm Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
he kind of looks like Sora,
He looks like Sora. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it was funny when Kingdom Hearts came out. Everybody thought that that Sora was the main character from the Bouncer in this Square crossover game. Really
I
funny.
love these games like that Square Soft Square, back I think it was still
Mhm.
Square Soft back then that they made
Yeah.
that wasn't Final Fantasy like Guys and like this. That's
Mhm.
really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love to explore that.
Man, the Bouncer is so cool. It's so bad, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, this one somebody should get this. If you don't, you're all fired. Choose your path. It is 4,000 years before the blank, and hundreds of blank knights have fallen in battle against the ruthless blank. You're the last hope. Can you master the awesome power of the blank on your quest to save what? Save your friends, or will you fall to the lure of the dark side?
Oh, I think I know what it is. Okay, I'm gonna raise my hand and say it's Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
It is Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
I never played it.
Mm.
I never played it.
I
I
played
know
it
it's a
on the
good game.
Switch.
I know it's a good game, and I'm waiting for the KOTOR remake. I know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I would wait at this point, but yeah, man, that story of that game blew my mind. No
So
spoilers
good.
here. No spoilers here.
So how many more we got left?
We have 1, 2, 3 more. 3
Okay.
more.
I can still get it.
You can, but will you? This one's going to be hard, I think, but also hilarious when you realize what game it is. The majestic master of Sneak invites you to go behind the mask. The game
I
is.
know what it is already.
Mm.
I think I know what it is.
You want to take a guess?
Sure. Sneaking.
It is Sneaking.
Yep.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh wait, that Burger King game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Burger King game.
It's right next to me. I
The
have
Burger
it.
King game?
Yeah. I bought 2 copies of all those thinking that they would be worth something someday because they only sold them at Burger King and they never became worth anything. It makes me very upset.
I did a TikTok where I talked about it and I was like, why did this game exist? And I got so much flack for talking bad about that game. There's a whole TikTok that loves sneaking. So I learned that day.
Yeah, Pocket Bite Racers was also a legit racing game.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Big Bumpin'? Not so much fun.
I can't remember. I remember there were 3 of them, but sneaking was the one that I bought.
Yeah, man. It's funny because the girl I was dating at the time, like I wanted an Xbox 360, so she bought me for Christmas and my birthday that year. She bought me an Xbox 360, Gears of War, and the 3 Burger King games. I was like, cool. All right, this one should be easy. I've crash landed on a strange planet. My ship is in pieces, and my only hope for survival lies with the odd creatures I call blank.
I know this one already too. Oh, you go ahead, LeRon. You raise your hand.
That's Pikmin.
It is Pikmin.
Thank God you didn't throw a number, like a numbered version of Pikmin at me. I'd have fucked that up.
All right, guys. This is one of my favorite Dreamcast games. There's your hint. It's a Dreamcast game. If you listen to other content, you hear me bring this game up all the time.
Okay.
Survive the terror of Dinosaur Island. Awakening shipwrecked just after a meteor collides with the remote biotech research island, You begin to discover the uncontrollable madness unleashed in the meteor's wake. As one secret uncovers another, you piece together a horrifying revelation that could lead to the end of life on Earth.
Stephanie was first.
I'm only guessing based off of what I've heard you say on podcasts because I've never played a Dreamcast game. Is it Blue Stinger?
It is Blue Stinger.
Hey!
Oh my gosh, the game.
Only
I was
because
thinking-
listening to you.
I was thinking the other one that was technically like a survival horror because you were stuck on an aircraft carrier. What was that one?
Stuck on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah. Hold on.
Was it
You're
Dino
asking-
Crisis?
No.
Oh man, Dino Crisis. What if Capcom announces new Dino Crisis?
Wait, it was Blue Stinger. Okay, no, the other one was Carrier. Yeah, but it was Blue Stinger and Carrier. Yeah.
Man. Bonus points for anybody who can name the sequel to Blue Stinger that has nothing to do with Blue Stinger.
Red Stinger.
Nope.
I have no idea.
Nope. It's called Ill Bleed. It's about a girl who gets lost. in a
Yes,
haunted
Ill
house.
Bleed, yes. Yeah.
That game was
All right,
bad.
so right now the score is Ash 6, me 4, and Stephanie 2.
Hey, at least I bumped up from 1.
Well, Ash wins. Ash wins the back of the box contest. Yay!
Yay! Congratulations.
That was fun.
That's so really cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
I stole that idea from Game Informer for like 10 years ago, so you can thank them for giving me that idea.
It was a lot of fun. I like games when we play on here.
Sorry, Stephanie, I didn't pick any games you knew.
It's all right. I ended up guessing 2. So,
It's true. You got the most important one though, Blue Stinger. You should get bonus points for that.
yay.
But we're gonna wrap the episode here. Ash, thanks for your time tonight. We really glad you were here to hang out with us for however long we did this, an hour and a half ish.
Yeah,
you-
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You want to tell people where they can find you?
Sure. It's pretty simple. You can find me at Ash Said Hi pretty much everywhere. That's Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and yeah, I think that's pretty much everywhere I am right now.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time. I know you are a busy person. Are you going to PAX?
I am going to PAX. Yes.
Okay.
I'll be there. I'll
Yes,
be there.
we will be
Yay!
there in some capacity.
Awesome.
So.
It's my first PAX.
Oh man, PAX is awesome. By the way, if you want to go to the Nintendo booth, you better get there early, and you better be the first one in line, or you're going to be waiting for 5 hours. That's my only advice. Although they have a lot of great indie stuff there too. So, anyways, that's it for the Boss Rush Podcast. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. You can follow us on Twitter at Boss Rush Podcast. Check out bossrush.net for all of our content, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out our Let's Plays and stuff. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
So long.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/bossrushmedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.